Welcome back to TinyTalkTV. I'm Brian Sodre.
Sal Benedetto.
And today we're talking about ICF construction. It's a great prefabricated product that personally I have selected to add to our menu of structural materials.
What does ICF stand for?
ICF stands for insulated concrete form, and this is a sample from one of our job sites. Essentially, you've got your foam structure for the interior and exterior. You've got some plastic webbing, which makes this super light. You can pick it up with one hand, and it's approximately 3.5 feet by a foot in height. And the way it gets assembled is as so. You put this down, you get another one, and you continue to stack them just like Lego blocks. In this interior component is where you would set your rebar horizontally and vertical. Once all that's secured in place, you call your concrete truck and you pour the concrete directly into the walls. So essentially, you have a concrete slab as your wall structure.
You can't get any more stronger than that.
Exactly, and it also incorporates the insulation, so it helps condense a lot of those trades, which, as you already know, is my favorite part of prefabricated structural materials.
Yes, and while we're on this subject of ICF, how is it different from the traditional CMU block?
CMU has proven the test of time in Florida, specifically South Florida. It's withstood all the serious hurricanes that have passed through Florida. And that's why a lot of builders prefer to use it. However, it takes a very skilled labor in order to understand how to do it. One. Two, there's a lot of waste involved in that. So it's not the most cost effective, it's not the fastest, and because of the dying skilled trade sector, specifically in CMU, it's hiking up the prices for labor significantly, where it's not the best option anymore. And when you're talking about comparing CMU versus ICF, this is a superior product at a more cost effective price, easier to assemble. So to me, it's a no-brainer.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the way you explained it, it's as simple as just putting these together like basically a Lego set, and then having a concrete truck come and then they fill it up to the top. Is it that simple?
It's that simple. I think anybody with a week training would be able to do this on their own and start their own company doing this type of trade. Just assembling the structure of these walls. It doesn't take a rocket science to do it. Think about what you're paying right now for any type of construction job. All you out there watching, I'm sure you've had some type of construction going on in your house. What did you pay for it? Typically, skilled labor, more expensive. This helps eliminate that. So I love it myself. So you're familiar with the product. What are some drawbacks of using ICF?
Yeah, I would say the biggest drawback compared to some of the other construction methods we use is you would have to put sheetrock on the interior walls. So for example, with the SIPs and the 3D concrete printing, because it's kind of more like an all-in-one product with the insulation and the utilities being ran inside of those products, with this, unfortunately, it would have to be ran outside, causing the need for sheetrock to be, for sheetrock needed to be hung on the interior walls.
Right, and when talking about drywall, this plastic webbing is set apart every 8 inches. So most framers space their framing anywhere between 16 to 24 inches. So this webbing right here allows them to directly screw in to this plastic, which runs all along the side of it, and they're all lined up directly.
Okay, so for example, since they're able to screw the sheetrock right into this, would you need to put furring strips?
No, so that's another time saver. So again, just to recap, you've got your exterior insulation, you've got the whole structural framing, you've got your concrete, essentially the structure.
Yes.
You've got your interior insulation, and you have the furring. So all that is composed into one product, reducing the time frame to build your structure.
And then obviously with the exterior, you could get pretty creative on how you want to finish it, right? Like siding, stucco, basically whatever road you want to take.
Right, yeah. For exterior, what they'll use is a synthetic stucco
Okay.
that you'll plaster on.
And that goes
add
right over
texture.
this?
Exactly. Or if people are using hardy board, cement board is very popular, you'll just nail or screw directly into that webbing, preferably screw. So this product, all of the products that Miniopolis selects as their structural components, which is what makes it stand out, we don't give you what you want. We give you what's the best product currently available that will speed up the process and save you some money. This one we selected because it withstands Category 5 winds and offers high energy efficiency. As you see, it has a lot of insulation. So I believe the R value with the concrete inside is calculated at R50. So in comparison to the industry standard
Is
right
it like
now,
18 or 19?
in Florida for walls is 19. So what does that mean? That just means that the standards are so low that you're having to put bigger AC units in your houses just to be able to cool your structure because the heat is penetrating through your walls. This avoids that. So how does ICF cut down on waste compared to CMU?
I'm actually so happy you brought this up. So as Minneapolis, we try to cut back on as many, greenhouse gases or just pollution in general. And unfortunately, going back to the CMU block comparison, with CMU block, I always see on construction sites, they always order like an extra pallet or two of blocks just in case, because, if you have to cut anything, just miscellaneous, if you drop one, they could break easily. So I noticed that with this product, they order exactly what you need, and the concrete truck will only come and obviously fill these up with exactly the right amount of concrete that you need, avoiding all of that extra waste. And you were telling me earlier, actually, most of those extra blocks just go right in the dumpster. They don't even reuse them because it would cost more to ship them back to the factory than to use them somewhere else.
Right. And in comparison to ICF, typically on our job sites, our waste is less than a bag full and it's super light styrofoam. So it's an incredible structural material that Minneapolis really loves to use. And it's right in the middle between structural insulated panels, 3D concrete printing, and fiber reinforced polymer.
And probably one of the most interesting topics that you brought to my desk probably about a week and a half ago. How could this product be used for some pool contractors in the area?
Man, so that's one of the coolest things I recently found out about is pool contractors. If you're out there and you're still waiting around for your gunite truck contractor to come in and spray your pool, you're wasting time and you're wasting money. ICF Pools is where it's at. The way that they do it typically for a pool is you set all your rebar, which is a lot of bending, a lot of uniqueness to shape the pool essentially. Once that's ready to go, it's all excavated, you have your rebar in place, you've got your support. Then they call a gunite contractor, which is typically a type of concrete mix specifically for pools. And they spray it on there with a very specific high pressurized machinery that's very unique, and there's not that many companies out there in Florida that have it. I think it's like one big monopoly. It could be a couple of others, but I know there's really one big company. And because of that, again, they have control of the market. They control prices. They take a little bit longer. So typically to complete a pool right now is about 8 months. That's an average time frame. Well, if they used insulated concrete form, they can cut that time frame down to about 4 months. So that's almost half the time. Of course, there's variables depending on how unique the pool is, but just the fact that you can save some time and money, I think it sells itself.
Absolutely. And to be honest, until you brought it to my attention, I had no clue that pools could even be made of this product.
So pool contractors, if you're out there, just know that Minneapolis is currently looking for pool contractors that want to work exclusively with Minneapolis on ICF pools. Well, we'll forward you some leads that we get for pool construction projects. So give us a call, message us on social media, or send us an email. We'd love to communicate with you, share with you more about this product to see how it can benefit your company and your customers.
Definitely. And touching on one of our last questions, a lot of people who want to go with the ICF route, they always have questions on how is the electrical and plumbing ran, because if the concrete is poured through the middle, would it have to be on the interior side of the wall between the sheetrock?
There's two ways to do it. You can plan perfectly by running your conduit, which is essentially a plastic PVC tube, to run all your electrical wire prior to pouring the concrete. However, that's a little bit extra work and additional planning necessary.
Definitely.
What a lot of field guys do is after it's poured, they have a special tool to basically cut through the foam, create a chase on the exterior after the concrete's already set. This is no longer a structural component. It's just there specifically for insulation. So you can cut it all off and the structure will still be great. In that case, they'll create that chase, they'll run their wires, and just to make sure that they fill that space again with insulation, they'll foam it with their foam guns just to fill that gap.
Perfect. And obviously when they cut the chase out, they will still be able to put the sheetrock flush onto the styrofoam.
Right, because remember, there's going to be a solid concrete there. So even if they miss the webbing, they can directly screw into the concrete. A little bit more work, not ideal, but this no longer plays a role in that.
That's pretty much going to wrap up this week's episode 7, I believe, of Miniopolis Tiny Talk TV. With that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at the office, 239-329-8804, or you could shoot me an email directly at sales@minneapolisbuilders.com. And with that being said, till next week, I'm Sal DiBenedetto.
I'm Brian Sodre.